Learn to write with confidence and authority. With Your Best Stories audio blogs. Episode 5. 3 rules for writing without stress. The more we care about a topic, the harder it is to write about. We want to do our very best when putting deeply held values down on the page. We write and rewrite again, wondering if we're ever going to get it right. And after a while, every word starts sounding wrong. My writer friend Adam Degree wrote me a while ago, "The weight of my worldview presses down on each sentence until every phrase seems puny and inadequate. I feel I've lost contact with the world my readers inhabit. Will anyone understand, or does this make sense only to me?" Yes, writing is an emotional, often daunting experience, but there are concrete steps we can take to reduce the burden. Sometimes it is simple, but why is that? Writing for business clients often seems easier. The text flows out of us much faster. There's a different kind of pressure involved when we're trying to sell a product than when we defend our inner beliefs. So what is the difference? We approach commercial writing strategically, applying the tried and true rules for web copying or content writing. Yet for some reason, when writing about our own experiences or ideas, all those rules go out the window. We start wallowing in profundities. We need to clear our minds. Using the right framework, simplifying the complex. No matter what we want to share, we must approach even the most poignant topics with a strategic framework. Make sure you 1. Formulate a theme statement or thesis. 1 sentence to describe your entire argument or story. If you need much more than that, your story isn't focused and you're asking for trouble. 2. Create an outline. 1 sentence or phrase for each point you want to make. Put them into a logical and consistent outline. 3. Find other people for feedback. They'll tell you if things are unclear. Theme statement or thesis for your book. Your thesis or theme statement is the most important part of your writing strategy. Without a clear-cut statement of what your book is about, your writing will be all over the place. Theme statements are 1-sentence descriptions that summarize what you want to say. Preferably, they show causality and the deeper meaning behind the story. You can create a theme statement using this formula as a basis. Something, transitive verb, something. For example, the theme statement for this section is: creating outlines accelerates your writing process. Theses are similar to theme statements, but are more aimed at providing a conclusion. For example, authors who create a theme statement before drafting spend less time fixing their work than those who don't use one, and live less stressed and more satisfactory lives. Tersely stating your main idea will help you stay focused, and that reduces stress. Outline your book. Outlines are crucial to nonfiction writing. They help writers think their ideas through before they set out to write, which relieves anxiety because you'll know what to say. The most common way of outlining is using Roman numerals for parts, capitals for chapters, numbers for subheadings, and lowercase letters for sub-subheadings. Make sure that all levels are consistent throughout your outline. For narratives, you could outline using a narrative arc. Draw a broad arc and write the scenes along its spine. This makes your story structure visible and helps you see the tension build. I recommend using this as an additional tool and not instead of a regular outline. Though composing outlines can feel like a chore, they save writers dozens of hours revising and restructuring. Wouldn't you rather use those hours developing new ideas or spending time with family? To learn more about outlines and theme statements, watch the first video of my free writing course. The link you'll find in the description. Community. Every author needs a community of skilled writers and editors who can give them feedback on their work. This feedback serves three purposes. First, it reassures us that our writing is relatable and we haven't lost touch. Second, it reminds us to put the reader first. And third, it helps you catch embarrassing errors before anyone else can. Where to find your writing community? Your community may be at your workplace, church or volunteer group. You can also use LinkedIn or Facebook to connect with other writers or editors and build relationships. The friend I quoted earlier is a writer I worked with for a web copy agency. Now we're sharpening each other's writing brains. Editing and coaching. If you're stuck with any of these steps, I'd love to help you. Book a discovery call or email me and we'll organize a one-on-one coaching session. Or we can look at your manuscript together and see what it needs. Now we're gonna look at my own rituals to make my writing as good as possible. Morning rituals, the key to clarity and good writing. What would your mornings look like in a perfect world? For me, the answer is simple. They would include reading, movement, and prayer. And although we don't live in a perfect world, I'm able to enjoy perfect mornings most of the time. On those happy days, I study before the sun is up, pray in silence, and bike across the desert to my office. Morning rituals set you up for good writing and editing. The results are undeniable. When I practice my morning rituals, I sit down at my desk with a fresh feeling of clarity. This clear-headedness is more than a subjective experience. I'm convinced that my dawn practices make me a better editor. Often the converse is also true. When I skip my rituals, I enter the office hurried and frustrated. And while I may do the same amount of editing work, I often feel as though my mind isn't really in the game. First, the inner things. Maybe it's that once I take care of the most important things, everything else falls into line. I started my day with God, asking Him for a blessing over my work and my family life. And I don't have to worry about carving out time for sports. I've already done it, on my way to work, through the desert on my mountain bike. Now I can fully dedicate myself to my business. I'm sure my scientifically oriented readers can think of some other explanations. Because our mind is interrelated with our body, everything in our mental life has a physiological correlate. Perhaps the moments I spend in silent worship send a cascade of blessings through my brain in the form of neurotransmitters and electrochemical signals. Who knows? A sense of calm. This talk about chemicals may all be true, but one thing is certain. There's a deep sense of calm that comes with sticking to a routine in a rapidly changing century. I encourage you to imagine your perfect morning and then to just live it every day. Your storytelling can only benefit from it, because clear writing demands a clear mind. It is super important when you are writing that you get rid of all the stress. Make sure that you are relaxed, because if you are not relaxed, your reader will notice it and your impact will be less. Have a great day.